It's Wednesday. It's 8 p.m. I'm Chris.
I'm Daz.
I'm Rich.
And I'm Martin. Daz, run the titles.
You're the joker, the expert, the voice, but you're one of the crowd. A vision of weakness you don't.
Well,
Thanks for the reminder about the new time, boys. I nearly
no
said
problem.
9 o'clock, didn't I?
knew you would go 9 o'clock. So yes, It is 8 o'clock. We have come on earlier. We're hoping to catch all of you socialites who have to go to bed early because of shifts and everything else. So 8 o'clock, yes, the new time. So obviously me, Daz, Chris and Richy back again to give you your weekly lowdown on all things football and music. Later on, we've got the Underclass joining us and a few other bits and pieces, but I'll hand you over to Daz, who will take you through what we've got.
Yeah, and of course, Martin, it's the first time bringing Load of Football Weekly onto our new channel. So thanks everyone for joining. So yeah, I think it's probably time for a bit of Loaded Headlines. Yeah, okay.
I still love that. I still love it. I think, just the amount of money we're saving from not doing professional intros. I mean, it's minted.
Well worth it.
Now, guys, I'm going to give you a bit of help today in the headlines. I wanted to bring on someone who's controversial, who is not afraid to say what he really thinks. Someone actually that's a Man United fan. Any idea where I'm going with this?
Roy Keane.
Someone that's outspoken. Close. It's his friend Jamie.
Oh, Jamie Keane.
Jamie, welcome to Load of Football.
That was some build-up, boys. Sorry to let you down with Roy Keane, Martin. Sorry, mate. You have to deal with me.
That's fine. We big you up. It's all down here from here.
Good to see you as well again.
Yeah, good to see you, mate. Welcome.
And we're going to kick off, lads, with a Man United topic. I want to talk about Man United. And they had a nice little victory at the weekend, as I'm sure Jamie will tell us all about, over Man City. And of course, Man City won tonight. So this is how the table's looking now. It was 5-2 in the end. It finished. So Man United is the topic for our first headline. Of course, their main key player. Who would you say their main key player is this season?
Mr. Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes.
I call him Bruno myself. Yeah, the key player, Frank Bruno. Can't beat him. You saw where I was going. Yes, of course, it's Bruno, the right Bruno. And of course, Man United, they'd be happy, delighted to finish second in the league, but they're also going well in the Europa League, and they play AC Milan on tomorrow, actually.
Let's not talk about Milan. Let's not talk about Milan.
Oh, don't go there. It's still a sore subject.
Still a sore subject, yeah.
We'll get to that later on. Let's do mention a bit of reunion with Zlatan. Return to of the old favourite there. So, lads, what are you thinking of Man United this season? Has Ollie turned the corner? So he's at the wheel now a while. It's finally clicking for him.
I'll kick us off, boys.
Go on, then.
Yes, sorry, Mark. Yeah,
no, it's all right. I was going to give to Jamie, but that's okay. I know you've got to love a Premiership, so carry on.
No, do you know what? I was going to say we'll leave Jamie to last because obviously Jamie's going to be far more knowledgeable than what us four are. But I just wanted to say, in terms of Man United, it's been coming a while, hasn't it? And I'm kind of pleased for Ollie because he did take a lot of stick, didn't he? And obviously he's relatively new in terms of being a manager, and he's a legend, for Man United. So it's nice to see, a legend kind of, come back to the club and do well. I mean, at one point he was being mocked a little bit, wasn't he? When he first came back, Ollie's at the wheel. I know Rio Ferdinand made that famous statement about him. And, people maybe got a little bit overexcited. And then obviously he went through a really rough patch and he looked like he might lose his job. But fair play to, is it Ed Woodward still, Jamie? Am I right saying that?
Yeah, Woodward, he's stuck with him.
Yeah, he stuck with him, and he seems to have turned a bit of a corner. I mean, let's not make no mistake about it. You know, Bruno Fernandes has made a massive difference, hasn't he? And not forgetting, you know, even the likes of Luke Shaw. You know, he's become a lot more consistent now, hasn't he? He's put a run of games together. I know he's quite injury prone at one point, so I do actually think that's been a big help. And interestingly enough, I noticed that Ollie's now gone with Henderson in goal. I don't know if that's a permanent thing, Jamie. I'm sure you'll be able to tell us, but I was wondering when that might happen, because I know De Gea has been on a bit of a downward trail, you know, of recent times. So, but you know, perhaps that has helped the upturn as well. I don't know.
Yeah, you're asking me, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah, I was just saying.
Mate, I thought, yeah,
No,
sorry.
right.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one, actually. I was speaking to my dad about this at the weekend, and he sort of said to me, "What do you think of Henderson?" And I was like, it's such a difficult one, because you almost feel bad as a United fan saying that De Gea needs to be dropped, because when Sir Alex left, when sort of we had Moyes for a short stint, Jose and Van Gaal, De Gea was arguably, we went through a stage of really bad recruitment, and David De Gea was the one player that stood out for us like a sore thumb when we were finishing 7th in the table and stuff. So it's a very difficult one, but I feel like football moves with the times, and I want to see Henderson given a chance now. He commands his back four really well. He's very vocal, and he's not short of confidence. And I think between the sticks, you just need that. So, in answer to your question, Chris, yeah, I think it's probably time to give him a chance. And De Gea's just had a little baby, and he's got a couple of family things going on at the moment. So I think that Dean's going to get his chance. And yeah, I'm quite excited, to be honest, because I feel like De Gea's probably past his peak now, and I feel like we've not been a very good club when it comes to getting players out at the right time. We've kind of drag them on a couple of years, like Phil Jones, for example, who's still at the club, crazily enough as it is, but he is. So yeah, I feel like he's going to get his chance, and we'll see what he's got. But it's probably the most scrutinised position in the world, Man United's goalkeeper. So we'll see how he handles it.
Cool. Daz, do you want to go next, mate? Oh, sorry, Mitch. Go on. You go, mate.
Sorry. I was just going to say, go on, Daz. You go.
No, work away, Richie.
Go on. All right. What I was going to say about the problem with the goalkeeper at Man United is the fact that the following in legends such as Schmeichel and Barthez, and then you've had Van der Sar as well, which is three world-class keepers over what since the Premier League's been formed. It's going to be really, really hard to replace legends like that. And De Gea was meant to be one of them, but he's always been a bit error-prone. I think everyone knows Dean Henderson is the way forward for Man United long term. The problem with De Gea, obviously, everyone knows he wants to go back to Spain. But the issue is, with his family still living in Madrid, the two Madrid teams have got two fantastic goalkeepers in Courtois and Oblak. So, I think he's just basically, biding his time at Man United until he can get a move back to one of those two clubs. But I can't see that happening in the near future. Regards Fernandes, he's been a hell of a player since he joined the league last year in the January transfer window. I think there was a stat a few weeks ago which I saw on Sky Sports, which said that since Fernandes had been in the league, Man United won the most points in the league since he's been in the league itself, which is phenomenal. And bear in mind where you think where Man U were before he joined as well. And what was even more sickening for me is, I think at the end of last year there was an interview with Rafa Benitez who said that Newcastle had a chance of buying Fernandes a few years ago for literally next to nothing, but guess what? Our board wouldn't approve the deal. There's a surprise there.
He didn't have that good of a career, Rich, when he was at Sampdoria. He wasn't nothing special at all. It was when he went back to Portugal and got a manager that put his arm around him, gave him a bit of love, made him captain, and he just had an absolutely phenomenal time at Sporting Lisbon. And my friends, my best mate back home is he's a Benfica fan, so I'm quite in the loop with the whole Portuguese football. And he was playing fantastic ball at Sporting Lisbon, and I just had a good feeling about him. Same with Nani. When we brought Nani in, I just liked his style of play. I thought he had the Man United player inside him, and it's the same with Bruno. And he's, like you said, it's been a breath of fresh air.
I think that's why Newcastle were linked again for dead cheap, though, wasn't it? Because obviously being poor at Sampdoria, but then when he went to Sporting, he had a good season, which is why we could have got him for next to nothing, because obviously he hadn't done it in the Serie A. He's gone back to Portugal, done it, but the Premier League's a big step up. But going to Man United's been revolutionary for him and the club.
Yeah, I agree.
For me, I think he's probably saved Solskjaer, I would say.
Yeah, I'd agree with you.
He's been such a revelation and hit the ground running, where I think, when you look at some players that have gone through the team in Man United, Man United, one of these teams that both national and international players sometimes fail. Like, certainly from teams I can remember back, you look at some players, and I'm going back a few years, but I remember Peter Davenport going from, I think it was Notts Forest, to Man United, and had a horrendous time. He was firing goals left, right, and centre for Forest, couldn't score hitting a barn door at Man United. And there's been players, I think, that have done well in other teams and gone and got the big move to Old Trafford, and for whatever reason, it just doesn't seem to work out. In particular, I think there's a bit of a jinx on strikers, imported strikers, when it comes to Man United, that a lot of them don't seem to work out. Ronaldo probably being a bit of an exception, but okay, Zlatan scored a few and whatever else, but there's not really been a prolific imported player for Man United. And I think Fernandes is that kind of quality link-up player that sits just in front of the middle, can drift in and out. You can give him a free roll. He can go wide. He can come short. But he just links up that play that I think last season, before he came, I think Man United were really missing. And they were relying heavily on Rashford to kind of drop back and link up, but then also score the goals as well. They've obviously brought in Cavani. Martial went, I think, through an incredibly lean patch. I still think he's a quality striker, but I think he's not really, an upfront on your own kind of striker. I actually think Greenwood's better in that role than Martial. I think Martial is way better on that left-hand side, coming in like he does for France. And I think Fernandes has just linked up that front four, allowing them to interchange. And he's just one of those that gets into these positions that, he's there, but it's just like every time you turn around, there's nobody marking him. And you're kind of going, how did he get there? So I think he's been inspirational. I think he's definitely been Premier League Player of the Season for me so far, despite City running away. I think he's been outstanding. I think, for me, as I said at the start, I think he's probably saved Solskjaer's job, because I think if Man United hadn't been firing like they are, and I think Bruno is a huge part of that, then I think Fernandes, I think Ollie probably would have been gone, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I also agree with you, Martin. I like Bruno, but the thing I don't like is that I was enjoying the misery that Man United were going through for so long. That's what I'm going to miss. Sorry, Jamie. Sorry. No, I think, Man City. Yeah, if I bring, we saw the table area. We know they've ran away with it. They're going to win the league. United Man United could come second. It looks like they probably will. But my worry is that next season, Man City probably won't do 2 in a row. Liverpool, will they get over their stumbles into next season? I don't think so, unless they change things up a bit. If 1 or 2 twigs for Man United next season, I think they could be back at top.
Yeah, I think the only problem with that, though, Daz, for me, is I think Manchester City will spend heavily, because they haven't for a period of time, and I think Pep will want to. Pep will want to change up dramatically if he's to stay at Man City, especially if they win the league again this season. So I think if
striker as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you'll see the top 2 or 3 will spend quite heavily. I think Chelsea will as well, because obviously it'll be Tuchel's first attempt at bringing in his own players. I suppose there's the Germany link with the likes of Werner and stuff, who seems to be coming on. But I think City will spend. I wouldn't be at all surprised seeing City spend another 80 to 100 million. I don't think they'll do a Messi, but I think they'll bring in quality. I think Aguero will go, and I think they'll bring in. I would not be surprised to see Haaland go to Manchester City.
Do you know what, mate? As well,
that's a game changer.
They're going to. It's a great market for them as well at the minute, isn't it? For any clubs who are rich at the moment, obviously there's going to be a hell of a lot of clubs struggling, particularly in La Liga. You know, these clubs who've got a hell of a lot of money can go up to other clubs and, you know, say the players normally valued at 60 million in these times. And, you know, with fans still not being in the stadiums, they could easily turn up and go, oh, we'll give you 40 mil cash up front. And a lot of clubs would struggle to reject it.
Yeah. Spanish clubs are struggling. Barcelona, Madrid, they're so heavily debt laden. You know, if things don't improve in certain countries, you know, and I think Steve Hasty on the Amigo show a few weeks back made a really good point, which was, you know, if the banks were to call back some of their debts, Barcelona, Madrid, and likes of Inter Milan would be out of business. Like literally, they would fold. So
I think Inter and Milan are in trouble big style, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a crazy time.
They're on about having a fire sale, but I've heard that there's a little bit of noise over. Someone will buy them anyway. They're too appealing, especially with the San Siro being knocked down and them sort of getting their own stadium and stuff. They'll have their own identity and they can go again. But I spent a lot of money on silly players, Alexis Sanchez being one, which I'm obviously very grateful for. But I agree with you. I think like Real Madrid, Juventus, Bayern Munich to a certain extent, Barcelona, they're all going to be spending as well. And there's only a select few of each position that all them clubs will be in the market for. Your Haalands, your Agueros, if he leaves Manchester City. Where are they all going to go? So it's going to be interesting.
I think Aguero will go back to Argentina.
I'll be amazed if Klopp don't bring a striker in as well. I feel like that's been a massive issue. Liverpool have had a lot of problems this year, which is fantastic. I'm sure you'll agree, Chris. But it's a case of they need to go again as well.
Yeah,
in the market.
Jamie, I just had a quick question for you, mate. So if you don't mind, what's your view on Pogba? What do you do over Pogba?
I hope he stays, mate. I want him to stay, signing a contract, and I genuinely think he will do. I've had some conversations with people that have got connections quite close to the club, and apparently it's looking like that's a very feasible option for him. Whether it's a stopgap for him for maybe 2 years until the financial situation of the world gets back to normal, and the Juventuses, the Real Madrids can afford him. I don't think they'll be in the market for Pogba at the moment, and I feel like his integration back into the team and particularly his form tells me that he's probably buying into what Ollie's got in front of him at the moment. And I feel like we're going to go in on the market, try and improve certain aspects, particularly right midfield and centre-back's a big issue for us. There's rumours as well that Cavani wants away. So if that's the case, we're going to be in the market for a striker, I'd like to think, unless he trusts Greenwood, which I think is pretty risky considering his age. Fantastic player, but very raw. Needs time to develop. But in the background as well, we've got fantastic young players coming through at Man United as well. We've got some very, very good young players. So maybe it's time to start seeing a couple of them pop up in the first team, which would be nice. But going back to your question, I really hope he stays, and I'm pretty confident that he can do, because the pandemic's caused absolute mayhem, like you just mentioned, for the big, massive teams in the world, and I just can't see them type of £100 million players moving this summer. I really can't. I think it's going to be a very shrewd market, going to have to be clever, make the right moves, spend the money on the right players, because you're only going to get one shot at it. I don't think that bottomless pit like PSG, Real Madrid to a certain extent, City, Chelsea, I don't think they'll be lumping £200 or £300 million out this summer. I just don't think it's possible. I think you're going to have to recruit very well, and that's when you're going to find out who's the cream of the crop, because the recruitment, they'll get it right and they'll kick on.
Lads, I want to put in.
So I was going to say, don't you need to tell Ollie, Jamie, not to be afraid to look up that guy Joe Linton on the internet. Apparently he was a whiz on the internet, but I'm sure a deal could be done there, mate, if you're looking for somebody less prolific than Cavani.
Hey, stop being so harsh on him, Martin. Good player, quality player.
Lads, I want to cut in and talk about our next headline. I want to talk about West Ham. So West Ham, what a difference this season than last season. Last season they were finished in 16th spot. So this man, you might remember him, Jamie. He says they were disappointed to drop out of the top four recently. They're aiming to be the first West Ham side to finish in the top four since 1986. They play Man United in the next league game, and that's another reunion for Man United fans this weekend. But what do you think of West Ham, lads? I'll just show you where the table is now again, where they're sitting. They're in 5th. Will they get the top 4? I'll make it quick on West Ham. Will they make top 4?
No.
I'm saying no.
No.
I'm saying no as well.
Okay, well, that was easy. No. I think for me, West Ham on this season, West Ham for me this season, last season, Sheffield United. There's always one surprise team every season. West Ham are this season.
That's spot on. That, to be fair, what a comment.
Yep.
I think with West Ham, I think one of the major things that's worked well for them this year is the behind closed doors football, because the London Stadium is like Newcastle when football's not good. It's very, very toxic.
Yeah,
I think Lingard's been a great sign for them.
Made a big difference. Yeah,
Lingard. I think Lingard's been a bit they were missing, but yeah, we should have tried.
I think Suchek's probably the best player in their squad. I'd have him all day long at Newcastle. I think he's absolutely phenomenal in the middle of the park.
They've made some good signings, West Ham.
He's a Fellaini, isn't he? He's another Fellaini.
Yeah. I mean, they've made some good signings, West Ham, this season. And, it's obviously paying benefits, isn't it? Because they're 9 points better off than what they finished on last season already. And they've still got, 11 games to go. I don't think, to answer your question, Daz, I don't think they're going to finish top 4. But, even if they finish in the top 8, that's still a fantastic season for West Ham.
Compared to last season. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I think the other, sorry, Daz, just the other quick thing, just to finish up on West Ham. My observation would be that they get signings of players, okay, and I'll use Lingard as the example, leave a high-profile club, i.e. a Man City or a Man United, want the high life that they've had in Manchester or somewhere like that, want to be in London, but know that they won't get a move to an Arsenal or a Chelsea. So West Ham seem to get these players that are in and around the peripheries, but won't be snapped up by an Arsenal, a Spurs, or a Chelsea. So West Ham really kind of is picking up these players that are, not picking up a top contract, but they're still good enough to mix it up in the Premier League, and the attraction of living and obviously playing in London for me.
And not to mention, Mart, these big clubs,
West Ham
if they're going to let their players go, you'd be quite happy, as one of those bigger clubs, to let your player go on loan to West Ham, wouldn't you? Because they're a half decent side, they'll get plenty of games, but they're not going to cause any problems. Well, they probably thought that at the start of the season. They're having to go this season, aren't they? But
the other piece of that then is when they finish up in say the likes of West Ham, the next move automatically kind of becomes a Southampton or a Bournemouth or a Brighton, because they can play on the South Coast and still live in London. So that transitions again. Sorry, Southampton and Bournemouth fans, but yeah,
I think if
nobody wants to come north.
If you look at David Moyes' recruitment at Everton, it was very good. So he signed very well. He used to pluck players from the Championship like Tim Cahill, Marcus Bent, done well when he was at there. And I feel like he's starting to get the recruitment right at West Ham as well. And they've got a little bit of pull because they've got a couple of quid. So he seems to be going out and working in sort of disadvantaged markets, buying Suchek from Sparta Prague, players like that. So it's not paying top quality for these players, but they're really good players. And
I think
doing well.
London's a huge
I'm quite happy for him because he's been shafted a little bit in the past couple of years in his career. So I'm quite happy for him, actually.
Moyes is a good manager, especially when he was at Sunderland.
Go on, lad. I want to say, just a reminder to people to like and comment and to hit the subscribe button. And that finished rather abruptly there. Should have lasted longer. I'll play it again later. I don't know why. I think it's time to move. Are you ready, Chris?
I'm ready. Loaded leaderboard.
Does anyone really want to see the leaderboard?
I really don't want to, because I know what's
enjoy
going
it every week.
Do you enjoy it?
I shouldn't even try and find out what's going on.
Okay, we'll flash up the leaderboard. Martin, you're flying ahead. Now, the Man City result is not in this, so Chris, Richy, and myself each get a point. You went for Southampton there, Martin. So, but still, it makes no difference.
Oh well.
They got 2 goals.
Yeah, in the relegation zone, guys.
Says he got 5.
No, it is
I moved
Jamie.
down. Yeah.
I have called numerous results, although I'm sure Daz will remind me. I didn't apparently call the result the other night. I actually got that mixed up. So I'm, I think quite a few abusive
Martin's
texts.
walking away with the title
of
here.
which most of them were from Daz. But
I let it go, Martin. I said my piece.
I know, you let it go.
Rich is still in the hunt for Champions League football.
Rich had an amazing week.
I've called a few bad ones. Yeah, I've caught some weird ones. Me and Richy were flying.
And I see Dylan has joined us as well. Welcome, Dylan. I can see you there in the green room. We'll get you on in a few minutes. We'll fly through these fixtures, and I think we're waiting on Matt to join us as well. But yeah, let me get rid of the banner as well, so it's easier to see it. So off you go, Chris. This is the time you usually pop off.
Yeah, this is normally when my internet lets me down. So fingers crossed, boys. I'm going to make it through the whole fixture list. Not that big this week, is it? So fingers crossed. Right, I'm going to start us off with the first game of the weekend, which is Friday, and it's Newcastle at home to Villa. And boys, 1,000,000% home win, Newcastle.
Who's going next? Go on, Daz.
I'll say a draw here.
I'm not confident. I'm going to go for a Villa win.
Draw for me.
Jamie, jump in here as well with your selections.
Got to be careful here. I'll lose all my followers at Newcastle fans.
I lost mine weeks ago, mate. I wouldn't worry.
I think Villa will beat us, to be honest with you. 2-0.
Whoa.
Oh, boys, where's the enthusiasm?
Go again, Chris.
Okay, so Saturday we've got Leeds at home to Chelsea. I'm going to say draw.
I'm saying Chelsea.
I'm going Leeds.
Chelsea.
Chris, you pull that face every week. I say a result.
I do, don't I? I do. And you are top. Sorry, Mark.
And then the next week we put them up, and you go, "Fucking hell, how does he do that?"
I need to like put my head there, don't I? So you can't see me pulling my face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Jamie,
what about you, Jamie?
Yeah, I fancy a draw in that one.
Good man. Okay, so then we've got Palace at home to West Brom. I'm going to say Palace home win.
I'm going to say draw.
Jesus, Daz. Yeah, I'm going to go Palace.
Palace.
Yeah, I'll go draw as well.
Okay, we've then got Everton at home to Burnley. I'm going to say Everton home win.
I'm going to say Everton as well.
Yeah, Everton. I think they're playing really well at the minute. So Everton.
Everton for me.
Yeah, full house, Everton.
Okay, we've then got Fulham at home to Man City. I'm going to predict a City win, and I hope to God the City do win.
City have to win for me too.
Oh, this could be a banana skin. It could be. I'm going to go. Look, City are firing. It'd be hard to see anything other. So we'll go with the City win. We'll go with the flow. If Fulham pull off anything, we needn't come on next week, lads.
No, give up.
City for me.
Fulham home win. Nah,
Right, put him in the back room.
Okay, then we've got Southampton at home to Brighton. I'm going to say Southampton home win.
Southampton home win as well.
Oh, East Coast Derby. Oh, draw.
I'm going Martin. I think it'll be a draw.
Funny game,
fancy Southampton.
Okay, then we've got Leicester at home. Yeah, they do. Yeah, you're quite right, mate. They do. Then we've got Leicester at home to Sheffield United. I'm going to say a Leicester home win.
Leicester home win for me as well. And I also see that Matt is in the studio as well. I didn't see him earlier. I have to scroll down, but yeah. So we'll get you on in a second, guys. Go for it, Martin.
Sheffield United win.
Leicester for me.
Yeah, fancy Leicester.
I think I've taken Sheffield. I think I've taken Sheffield United on every game.
Yeah. Are you a Sheffield United fan?
No, but they've got to win sometime.
Yeah. Okay, then we've got Arsenal at home to Spurs. I'm going to say Spurs away win.
I'm saying Spurs as well.
Draw.
Draw for me.
Yeah, same for me. Draw.
Okay. Then we've got Man United at home to West Ham. Obviously, West Ham without Lingard as well, as per the loan. So I'm going to say
Beans.
Draw for Chris. I'm going to say Man United win.
Yep, I'm going to go Man United win.
Draw.
It's got a West Ham 1-0 written all over it, and at Old Trafford.
It probably has, yeah.
Hopefully United win. United win.
Okay, and the last game is Wolves at home to Liverpool. I'm going to say they've got to win. It's Liverpool away win. Got to.
Liverpool for me as well.
I'm going Wolves. Liverpool suck.
I'm going draw.
I love your thinking there, Martin. I fancy a draw as well.
That's it.
That's it, boys.
That's it.
That's me. May as well just put up that table one more time there, Daz, because that'll be me top again next week as well.
Yeah, probably will.
Not a claw back 5 points, haven't we? It's going to be difficult.
I think it's time for a word from our sponsor. Are you ready, Martin?
Ready. Obviously, yes. Sponsor. So Mind, Body and Soul. And I know Richy has even been talking to Adam and the chaps at Mind, Body and Soul. So Mind, Body and Soul are a crowd who will help you if you are having mental health issues or just issues in general and you want someone to talk to, be pointed in the right direction and given guidance and service to help you along on what is probably a very difficult journey. So the guys there, reach out. You can get in touch with the guys. You can hook them up on Twitter. So at Mind, Body and Soul UK. You can also go online onto the website www.mindbodysoul.uk and you can reach out to Adam and the guys. They will help you out. It's confidential and they will point you in the right direction. So Mind, Body and Soul, big thanks for continued sponsorship, and we will be doing something very shortly with some giveaways which they have kindly given us. So the guys have given us some T-shirts and some face masks and a couple of other little goodies. But if you go online, as I said, to www.mindbodysoul.uk, you can have a look at the range of goodies that they do on there, from pin badges, cups, mugs, coasters, an array of T-shirts, bubble hats, masks, and hoodies and sweatshirts. All the proceeds from the sales that they make go towards charities, 100% of it, and it goes to really great causes to help across the UK and other places. So go online, have a look. We've got a few bits here. I know Richy was on getting a T-shirt last week. They do some really good stuff. So listen, continued thanks to Adam and the team at Mind, Body and Soul for their sponsorship. The other thing I wanted to say very, very quickly, just on obviously, mental health and everything else. I think I actually heard somebody talking about this yesterday, and it kind of struck a chord because I've obviously had a few issues myself last year with things in my personal life, and kind of that was what resonated when I reached out to Adam and the guys with regards to helping us out on the show, and I kind of explained my story to them, which wasn't meant to influence or other, but I think it was quite pertinent that we kind of found each other, I suppose. But I think the thing I wanted to say just on it, and some of the things that Mind, Body and Soul do, is at the minute there's this huge focus out there, and all we seem to talk about is pandemic, coronavirus. Are we getting the vaccine? When are we opening up? And what I want to say to people is there is a whole heap of other things that are going on out there that aren't the pandemic. People still have mental health issues. People are having heart problems. People are passing away from other things. People have problems in life, losing jobs, losing partners. People are getting cancer. All these other things are still out there. So I think we've kind of, got to this point where we talk about, coronavirus and everything it's done in our lives. And it's obviously been incredibly difficult for everyone. But there is a lot more other things going on out there. So if you are affected by anything, it could be us on the panel. It could be people watching. It could be people listening to what we tweet and, some of the rubbish we talk about. But, you are not or never alone. So there's 5 of us sat here, including Jay. Reach out, DM us, tweet us. We'll help you out. We'll put you in the right cause. Even if you just want to shoot the breeze, we're all around. But there is a lot of other things going on out there that people are dealing with. So I think we just need to be mindful of that, and that, life is phases and they do all pass. But, we will come out better people and across the other side. But there is a lot going on. So I just wanted to mention.
Well,
What's that, Mark?
Thanks very
Before
much.
we move on, Martin, well, on that, obviously, I've mentioned quite a few times, I've been struggling with times as well. And I'd like to say thanks to JB, because JB was actually there for us about 6 to 8 weeks ago. I was really, really struggling. And JB's had his own issues as well. He's still working through them as well, but he still took the time to reach out and talk to us, and much appreciated, mate, because it helped us through the rough time there, mate.
Nah, don't be silly. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Any of you ever need to talk about anything in your lives, I'm always there for you. And I know, Martin, you've been there for me in a certain situation as well, mate. So for going around and sort of saying thank you is a big one to you as well, mate, because you obviously know the issue I was dealing with at the time. I was very worried, and you were there for me, mate, and it's not forgotten. But thank you very much, Rich. I'm a bit humbled by that, mate. Thank you very much.
No problem.
All true.
Don't worry,
this is all getting a very bit manly now. We don't talk about this kind of stuff. Come on, let's
we'll
move
hold
on.
hands in a sec. But yeah, don't worry, lads. We'll all get to meet up for a pint someday in the distant future.
Indeed.
We can all have a big hug then. Lads, I think it's time to move on, because we've got a great band sitting in the green room, and it's time to get them on. So are you ready, Martin?
Ready. Loaded tune.
Yes, let's get the lads on. Here's Dylan. Welcome, Dylan.
You all right?
Here is Matt.
Hello,
Welcome, lads.
hello.
How
How are we?
Hello, lad.
All good.
Evening, boys. You're right.
All good. Look, Matt's
Good,
all
mate.
set up. He's got the old Stoke on and everything
Oh,
else. Boys are set. Well, I'm kind of. There's two things. First and foremost, obviously, lads, welcome to Loaded Football Weekly.
Thank you very
We
much.
have had ongoing chats for numerous weeks now, so it is finally fantastic to have you on. Me and the boys have been obviously passing around the music and the tunes, and we've had the DMs floating back and forth as to who's coming on, who isn't. But obviously, we now have you on. I think from Daz's point, the rearrangement of people actually on the screen worked out really well, that we haven't actually got the two boys together, that it says Matt Dillon, because obviously we don't know that he is a Stoke fan. So I'm glad we didn't confuse I'm glad we didn't confuse ourselves with any of that. But yeah, look, obviously welcome. Don't go confusing.
There we go.
Now, lad.
Oh, hang on, I spelled it wrong.
Brilliant.
There we go.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah, now the sequence has been right. But
You
listen,
want Chris Martin as well?
I know. Yeah, we've had Chris Martin. Yeah, we've done that, yeah. Obviously, we started bringing bands on a few weeks ago, and kind of had this general idea of we'd be the next Soccer AM, and I've spent numerous weekends listening to bands, and obviously you guys replied to a DM. I listened to the music, and I have to say, lads, I'm absolutely, me personally, I'm absolutely loving it. I've downloaded a good chunk of your stuff. It's on the Spotify. It's on there when I'm out walking on a Sunday and stuff. We're obviously going to play some of the tunes as we move on, but I suppose I normally try and do a few questions, and I have a few bits written down, but I've absolutely not done anything on it this week. I'm just going to wing it. So I suppose,
surprise.
Yeah, surprise. Yeah. So I suppose from your perspective, lads, for those out there who don't know you, tell us a bit about yourselves. Tell us a bit about the Underclass. How did you get together? Who's in the band? And give us the lowdown on you boys as a band.
I think that's one for you, Dill.
You want me to do that one? All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we 5 lads from Stoke. I think it was late 2018. We started
roundabout
October time on it, when we started meeting up and that. George, the front man, was the one who kind of started it all off. He knew the drummer from school, and he knew you from school, didn't he, Matt?
Yeah. And a
but
crappy old band we were in.
Started off with me, George, and Adam, and then Aaron, the bass player, joined, and then Matt joined about December time, wasn't it? Because
End of December, yeah.
I'd actually met Matt 2 weeks before that at Cortina's gig.
Yeah,
because
it's Stoke.
Because they went off stage because the barrier broke. So we were all like booing and chanting, and I ended up stood next to Matt and we were chatting.
Giving it loads of stick.
And then he turned up at practice, and we were like, no way, like, how mad's that? Like, we never thought we'd see each other again, because it was just like one of them 5-minute friends you get at a gig.
Sounds so romantic. Sounds so romantic.
And it ended up being like him who turned up, but we've done gigs in some great venues. The Cavern Club is my highlight. I think the other boys would probably say the same.
Definitely.
We take a lot of inspirations differently. Everyone listens to such different music, really. Obviously, you get your Britpop and that kind of music. Everyone kind of doesn't mind, and then Matt's into a bit more rock.
Heavier stuff.
Aaron likes some of the punk rock, punk pop
Weird
kind of stuff. I like a bit of everything. Like, I'll have anything on my playlist, really. So it ends up, Johnny Cash, one of my favourites, and it ends up all kind of joining into our sound, which we can't really compare to other people as such. And that's where it all comes from.
I was going to say, like, I've listened to a few of the tunes, and I did kind of find it hard to put you in a category of kind of, okay, who do this sound like, or who's like them, or kind of, you know, where have I kind of heard something similar? And I think I think in a way that's a really good thing that you can't put in the bracket. I think if that's the right thing to say.
I think because we're all quite young as well, we didn't really know an angle we wanted to go at the industry like. So we went in it as like 5 lads who just wanted to make some music, have a laugh. So we got, say, Bring It, which is a really heavy song, which probably inspired by me and Aaron, whereas our latest single, The One's inspired more like Dills and George's and Adams kind of inspirations. It all just varies, really. But I think we're sort of whittling it down more now into a more specific genre.
So from a point of the I suppose the writing and everything else, how does the consensus work kind of between the 5 of you as to, you know, what goes into a song, what comes out? Like, if you get to a point where there's kind of, you're not quite sure, how do you know, is it kind of like, you know, flip of a coin, or, you know, is it rock, paper, scissors, or how do you work out what's going into the song?
We've never really been at that point, have we?
No, kind of like, we don't actually have a set formula. We've had so many different ways of writing songs. Sometimes George will come with a song, sometimes Matt will come with a riff, sometimes like me and George would sit at college, come up with a few chords, or there was never kind of really a formula for it. It was just all natural, really, and then we'd play it and someone would suggest, oh, why don't we try this, and that might work, and that's kind of how they all happen. Yeah.
If it doesn't, it's out.
Yeah, it's more of a general consensus. If we all like it, it stays, and if we don't, it doesn't. So if someone's not happy about something, everyone makes it known.
It's fairly easy to say it. So obviously, you're saying you guys have, you know, you played in the Cavern Club, you've done some gigs and bits and pieces, obviously, and then, you know, COVID struck and, you know, fucked up everybody's life. We're not being allowed out. Like, me and Daz are both, you know, here in Ireland, and Richy is up in Newcastle. Jamie's up in Newcastle, but he's a Man United fan, so he's a little bit weird. Chris is a Newcastle fan living in Liverpool, so that's even weirder.
That's even worse.
Yeah, so there is a big mix. So, you know, we kind of stumbled onto this whole pod thing. Like, we were, you know, I said it to you guys, we were running off the back of another podcast show doing Newcastle stuff, and myself and Daz and Chris just kind of said, you know what, like, you know, lockdown's happening, we got nothing to do, and, you know, we got work and kids and everything else, but, like, you know, we thought there was a bit of an avenue to kind of put on something a bit soccery Emmy type of thing on YouTube and get some cool bands on and everything else, and we started to do well. We've gone off on our own thing now, but from a point of you guys, how are you getting the sounds and that out there now with kind of COVID, and obviously you can't gig, and I'm presuming you can't get together, so it's kind of sessions over Zoom and stuff like that, or how are you dealing with the music and getting stuff out there?
I think lockdown's been a massive chance for us to sort of, because the first 12 months that we were active for, from March to March, was manic. We were probably doing a gig every week, if not every other week, because for a small band, that's quite good for us. But we sort of never had a chance to sit down and go, look, we need to do this, 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 and this. And we've gone from on Twitter from about 500 followers to about 3,000. No, to about 3,000 now, and that's just from people in lockdown spreading the word and stuff like that. For creativity wise, it's more trying to get ideas to the other band members. We haven't really practiced that much. We've gone through a couple of band members since the start of lockdown, so that's a couple of drummers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good job. We didn't ask you to go live tonight, then, lads. Really.
Oh, it was a good job. It is. Maybe next week.
Maybe next time. All right. Well, I think
we'll keep that in mind.
What we normally do then, we've got some more questions for you, and I know the lads have got some questions, and I think we are seeing some people throwing a few bits and pieces in. So I think what we'll do now, Daz, is let's throw up the tune. So I think we've got your current, which is the one by the Underclass. So we will throw this up, let her run, and then we'll come back for some more questions from the boys. Anything that comes in, and we'll open it up. So Daz, let's hit it there. Let's play. This is the one by the Underclass.
A shame for your curfew. You had your chance, man, but you just let it loose. You had your chance, and yeah, you just let it blow. If you wanna bring me back, then don't touch what ain't yours. If you want to come and answer, then ask your pretty boy. 'Cause you ain't around no more. I won't be coming back at all. Not anymore, not anymore. Because if this is the one, I won't be coming back with you. If this is the one, I know you'll be running for it too. If this is the one, I've got nothing left to do. Not anymore, not anymore. Oh no. Thought I lost my way, but I found it all. It seems like you had it hidden in your crystal ball. You've had your chance, but you've got nothing to prove. You've had your chance, in fact, you've been given two. If you don't wanna be beaten down, then don't take what ain't yours. If you want to know the answer, you can ask your pretty boy. 'Cause you don't even care at all. I won't be coming back no more.
tune, that lad.
Great tune.
Thanks very much.
Glad you like it.
Yeah, that is
And-
a belter.
The fans like it as well. Yeah, lads, I'm going to get as I bring up a few of the comments there. I want to get straight. Actually, I'm going to tell you a story first. I was talking to the lads today, and they asked me, "Is it okay if we have a drink while we're on the show?" And I said, "Work away, lads. Drink whatever you want. The one thing that we don't
Cheers,
allow
boys.
though is people eating chicken nuggets. We had a bad experience with people eating chicken nuggets on the show, and we won't go there again. But drinking is okay.
Yeah.
So work
Shame,
away.
shame. You know who you are.
You know who you are, Johnny Ashband. So yeah, lads, I just wanted to talk a bit about Stoke fans.
Hey.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I actually, you're not going to be able to read this, but yeah, you're kind of mid-table of that this year, and I'm just looking at some of your stats. Nick Powell is scoring a few goals. See,
He's unreal, isn't he? He's just the best player we've got at the minute.
Yeah, well, if Tyrese hadn't been injured,
Yeah.
he'd probably have outshone him. But Powell, I don't know. I don't know what went wrong in his career really, because he the ability's there. I think
Nothing
it's probably sometimes it's just the work rate that's the problem with him. He's just a bit lazy at times, but the ability's there. He's an unbelievable footballer.
He's only 26 though, so he's still got plenty of time. Keep it.
Yeah, I don't think he'll make the step up to Premier League, but he's great at this level.
He will with us.
That's
keep the
wishful
faith,
thinking.
man.
We'll take
And
that.
you've got a good Irish lad in James McLean there.
When he works,
was better last season, player of the season last season, and he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think he's dropped off a bit this season with what he's done. He just hasn't been as successful for him. But then he's not getting any younger, I suppose, is he? What is he? 32.
His form can be hit and miss. He's very.
Yeah.
I think the thing with James McLean is he's quite a patchy player.
Well, he's the
kind of-
opposite of Powell. The ability's not there, but the work rate definitely is.
Yeah. His
McLean
games in
will just
patches, he
run.
does well and then drops off.
Yeah.
he'll just run and run and run until his legs fall off. He is.
Collins
He's
is the Irish
everything.
player you want to look for. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
he's
good player.
just fractured his ankle on or something, but he's brilliant.
I
Yeah.
see John Obi Mikel is there. I didn't realise he's at Stoke. That was a surprise to me.
There's
It's
some
a bit
good
of a-
players there, though. Tom Ince as
We-
well.
Tom
Don't
Ince, yeah.
start on Tom Ince.
No,
He's
no.
not a
Sam Vokes.
Joe Allen.
Mikel was
He's
at Borough,
lost in the
though, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Did he do a season?
Isn't
No.
Sam Clucas with you?
Yeah.
he is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been out for a while as well, but good player. I like him.
And
Yeah.
then when I started looking at
Sorry, Daz, go on, mate.
no, then when I started looking at the squad, I was there. I come across Ryan Shawcross. I was like, what happened to him? He was like labelled as the next big thing. I thought he was going to get a massive move at one point, and he's just kind of fallen away altogether.
Aaron Ramsey happened to him.
So that was the thing. He got slated for that when the bloke walked off the pitch crying. Like, he never meant it, did he? But
His leg was broken first. I'm still adamant.
but
leg
that
was
was one of Alex Ferguson's biggest regrets, wasn't it?
Yeah,
He said
Sally
that.
Shawcross.
So he's great for us. Unbelievable. Definitely.
Who
a
did
club
just
legend.
bring in to replace Butland?
Well,
What's that
we got Adam Davies from Barnsley,
Who's a brilliant keeper. He's
Well, I think
probably
he should be number one, but we got Angus going on loan from Southampton. He's
Oh,
a
yeah.
bit shaky. He's made some terrible mistakes, but
he doesn't
he's
seem
not bad.
assured in himself. He seems
he's
a bit
not bad.
yeah. He'll come for
Confidence
balls
player.
he shouldn't come for.
And then we've
I was,
got Joe
I was
Bursick as
surprised.
well.
I was
But he's
surprised when I
been
looked at
great.
your squad, lads, how good it was. Like,
It is
you
a good
know,
squad.
one of my friends when I was back in high school many years ago, he was a Stoke fan, and I'm pretty sure they got promoted, to the Premier League. But yeah, I was really surprised when I looked at your team because I was going through it, and I'm a big fan of that James Chester. I don't know what he's like now, but I liked him when he was at Villa, and I genuinely didn't realise he ended up there. And then obviously, you've got the likes of Joe Allen and McLean, and you've got Stephen Fletcher up front. I know he's done the
He's
bounds a
brilliant,
little bit,
though.
hasn't he?
Fletcher's been the best player.
Yeah,
this season. He's
fantastic.
probably better than Powell, actually. He's
Just injured
and-
all the time.
I'm happy to admit I absolutely slated the man when we signed him. I was like, why have we signed this washed up old striker? And he's really proven us wrong there. He's been
Stephen Fletcher.
brilliant.
Yeah, see, we're all Newcastle lads apart from Jamie, so we're like quite happy to call Stephen Fletcher washed up and old. So obviously the Sunderland links there, and he scored quite a few against us when we went on really
well
bad
them,
runs against Sunderland.
Yeah.
Lads,
we've two band related questions in, so maybe we'll go to them next before we go to the quiz. So first one from Tom. Where do you reckon you'll go sound wise in the future?
I think it'll be not similar to the one, less of the Brit poppy style, because I think a lot of it's been highlighted as Brit pop.
I agree with that. I think we'll kind of focus on the one and build on that. With the good kind of mix of a lot of acoustic guitars and electric guitars together.
It's a bigger sound, isn't it?
Yeah, we tend to like that.
It's one I like. For me, I had that again. Like, had the earpods in, and I was out on Sunday just getting out for a walk and clear the head. Where it's one of those tunes like you can really crank it up, but it doesn't bust the brain, but you can crank it up and really get some sound out of it. But it's just a really, really good tune, and it's one of those that there's for me there's good hook lines in it that you kind of. You'd be kicking around the house a week later and you'd be humming something or whistling something. You go, where the hell is that from? And then you put it back on the following week and you go, oh, yeah, I know that song. So that I found them dead catchy. So, yeah.
Really appreciate that.
When you put the song on as well, I actually messaged Matt and said, like, every time I listen to it, I love the bass line in it.
And I'm the same.
Because we said we wanted the bass to be quite loud so you could hear it. And I think it's come out brilliant in the end that you can really hear it and you can kind of listen along to different parts. You can pick out the bits.
There's so many different layers to it. Like there's strings, there's an organ in it, multiple guitars that we put down on the day. There's probably about 4 acoustic guitars on the track.
Well, yeah, because we both did an acoustic and a 12-string, and then you did a 12-string lead, didn't you?
Yeah. So
and we double-tracked both of them. So what's that like?
We've obviously no idea what that means, but it sounds really good.
It sounds good, yeah. It's good.
I think my dad's listening, and my dad's really into his band music. He loves his concerts and stuff, so I'm definitely gonna. I've been listening to a couple of your tracks when Daz told me you boys were coming on. So first of all, it's really nice to meet the Perriers as well. I've been listening to a couple of your songs over the last few days, and I can safely say you can do it on a cold night in Stoke. So there you go, boys.
Knew that one was going to come from.
Do you know what it is? He's actually stole one of my questions, because one of my questions as Stoke fans is, do you actually get pissed off when other people say, can they do it on a wet, windy night in Stoke?
I think it fires us up.
I don't think you get pissed off because most players can't.
Yeah,
it's true. We did well against all the big teams. They were crap when they came down our place. So
I think our first season in the Premier League, did we lose 4 matches at home all season? So it's
always a tough ground to go to.
Yeah.
Always.
Who did you have up front with Ricardo Fuller in them days? Who was playing next to him again?
Mama won it.
Liam Lawrence.
Sidibe. Yeah, you guys were a tough team there. When you went to Stoke's ground away from home, you knew you were getting a tough game. And Ricardo Fuller, what a player, man!
He was unreal.
Jamaican drummer, wasn't he?
I think for me,
he scored against Man City.
Yeah, I think for me, if I think about recent Stoke, for me, it's got to be Crouchy.
Yeah, Crouch.
When you look at Crouch, the volley he scored
against
some
Man
of the
City.
goals,
it was class.
Just an absolute peach. He just,
he
wouldn't get your normal 2-year tap in, but he's cracking. I see we've lost Daz. So we've lost the fella who pushes all buttons on our show. Yeah. We talked about wet and windy in Stoke. It's very wet and windy here in Ireland.
Fill out the Britannia for a concert one day.
Daz is gone. Yeah, so obviously, Jamie's picking out the questions there, so I'll continue on. So question from David Shepherd: are you guys going to be doing any festivals in future, and what is your plan for the future?
Do you want that one, Dale?
Yeah,
I've noticed that. Can I just stop you there? One thing I have noticed this band thing. Whenever there's a question come up, Matt seemingly drops you right in it and just goes, Dale, do you just want to answer this one, mate? And it's twice now you've been caught on the hop. So
because he knows that I'm the one who sorts all the stuff out with gigs, so I'm like testing you, see what we've got coming up.
We've got that one in Hull, haven't we? We've got that all day, yeah?
Yeah, we've got a festival in Hull in September.
Yeah.
26th. Sunday,
There we go.
26th September. Tickets aren't available yet.
Other than that, we've got no festivals planned. We've got a couple of gigs. We've got the 17th of July.
July. Yeah.
And we've got the 22nd of October at Kiel Student Union. That's supporting Tom Clark from The Enemy.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, that's
Hopefully you can get up to
I
Newcastle and
love
play
The
up
Enemy,
here.
so it's a great gig for me. I think going forward, just kind of see where it takes us. We seem to be getting bigger and bigger as time goes on, more of a following. I think just do it kind of naturally that way, just see where it takes us. If people like us, people like us. If they don't, they don't. But
I mean, we do everything ourselves, so whatever we're doing, there's no loss in it. We try stuff, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, then we just try something else.
It's been a big learning curve.
Yeah.
Oh,
when I joined the band, I was 15, so it was like I knew nothing about booking a gig or anything like that. Yeah, I was 15 because I was
before I
15
joined
at Cortina's gig.
No way, I can't remember.
Yeah. Because it was for my 16th birthday. I got the tickets at it, so I was quite young when I joined, and then it was just messaging people, finding out, how do you book gigs, how do you do that, and that was how we ended up getting the Cavern. It was
second ever gig, yeah.
It was a bloke I'd seen at the Cavern Club play, and I found his Facebook page and messaged him something like, "Oh, he was brilliant today, really inspiring." And then I saw he put something on saying, "My band are doing a night at the Cavern. Do any bands want to support us?" And I said, "Look, mate, we've not done a gig yet. We're literally young lads.
We'll do it.
We'll do it." And he was like, "Yeah, fine." And we went there. First gig was on the Saturday, and then the Cavern was on the Wednesday, and it was an unbelievable night.
It was crazy. Yeah. And then at the end, he announced to the whole audience that we were going home because we had to go to school the next day.
I did go to school the next day.
Classic.
It was
all right. Well, we are
into the quiz.
Yeah, we are getting into the quiz. The last question for me, obviously band related, which I have been asking. Are you guys signed or unsigned?
Unsigned.
Unsigned. Okay. So before we get into the nitty gritty of the quiz, I will just put it out there, which I have done with a few bands, so I'm not being selective with you boys. Some of these bands we've had on in the last few weeks who are unsigned, it is absolutely bloody criminal that these guys aren't getting more gigs and getting a deal somewhere. So we will obviously, and we'll say it towards the back end, but listen, we will keep floating your music around.
That's
we will keep
you
guys. Obviously we hope we get a few watches tonight. We get probably a much more bigger chunk on watch back, but we'll keep floating this around. We'll send you links to this as well that you can float around your own media. But look, people, get on board, get these guys signed. They've got some great music. There's a lot more tunes out there. But look, let's get into the quiz, and maybe people might change their minds if you're not clever enough. So let's see where you get to with it.
We'll see. Right. We'll see what goes down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you might want another beer, Matt.
I just hope my broadband holds up here, lads. I got cut out there earlier. The storm is picking up. But are you ready, Chris?
I'm ready, mate. Loaded quiz. Okay, boys.
Let's have a look at the leaderboard, I think, Chris.
Yeah, let's check the leaderboard, see where we are. I think we've got 3 joint top. Oh no, 2 joint top. Right, okay. So we've got Moonlight Parade and the Johnny Ash Band both on 12 points. We've then got Sam Lambeth in third on 11 points. We've got Jace Campbell, who was on our first ever show, on 10 points. We've then got the Pacemakers on 10 points. We've got Phil Charletta on 9 points, and obviously there we've got the Underclass, who are to be confirmed. So boys, I've put this quiz together. I hope it's not too difficult, lads. I've got to be honest. I didn't realise how young you were. I feel about 80 since you've come on the show. So I hope I haven't made things too difficult for you. Okay, so just to run through a few ground rules, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you 14 questions. There's 15 points up for grabs. We've got no timer. And Matt and Dylan, I wish you the very best of luck. Okay?
Cheers, Chris.
All right, so question 1, boys. Which famous European football club is also known as the Old Lady?
No.
This is starting really well, Chris.
I know. I thought,
it's the
old man.
It's an Italian club,
it's
isn't
a big
it?
club. Big club.
Give him
Is it an Italian club?
It is an Italian club,
Yeah.
yes.
It is.
Juventus.
Oh, no. Ooh.
You take your first answer?
No idea.
Let's see what Dylan
You
says.
can go for that if you want.
No, you say
I've
something.
got.
That's wise, mate. I'd just stick with it if I was you.
All
That's all
right.
I'll say.
Not that we're helping you in any shape.
I've got to take your first answer anyway, boys, as Martin said. So
yeah, exactly. So it doesn't really matter, Dylan. Matt's already fucked that one up for you, mate. So that's fine. Move on. Question number 2.
Okay, boys. Number 2. This one might be easier for you. Who wears the number 13 shirt for Stoke City?
Now we were just talking about this as well, weren't we?
His name did crop up as well.
Oh, I think it's midfielder.
Yeah,
it is.
I know who it is.
Who is it?
Don't say it.
You have to take our first answer.
I do.
I know who it is.
Okay.
John Obi McCall.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, to be fair.
Okay, boys. Now this one might make Richy laugh actually, because this one's kind of for Richy. Okay, and this is like a joke from last week. So, which planet is closest to the sun?
To the
Not the Earth, sun.
Mercury.
No,
Look at that! Look at that, boys! I love
Mercury.
that. Okay, which sport?
Sure.
Now you might want to take a little bit of time thinking about this one. Which sport is played on the largest pitch?
Ooh.
Got to think a bit outside the box for this
Can we
one.
confer here?
Polo's pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can.
But we do have to take your first answer.
Polo's pretty big.
I don't know. I don't know how big a polo pitch is. Is it a pitch?
Massive, because you've got horses going down by it, haven't you?
Yeah.
Are we going with that?
I can't think of anything else.
I can't.
Okay, boys. Right, so question number 5, and this one's for 2 points, okay? So Stoke City played bottom of the league Wycombe Wanderers at the weekend, and they won 2-0, as you're probably aware. Now, Stoke received 3 yellow cards during that game. Can you name me 2 players who received a card? And I thought when it's 2-0, I thought you were going to go, oh, I know who scored, but I thought that's too easy.
Right.
So it's 2 players who got a yellow card, and there was 3 Stoke players who got a yellow card that game.
I think I know one.
Right. Norrington Davies should have given away a penalty, but did he get booked? Because he scored, but he should have given away like 3 penalties. But did he get booked or not? Because I can't remember.
I'm not sure. I wasn't really watching. I missed most of the goal.
I think Martin's left him disgust with that question, Chris.
Yeah.
We get booked too many times for stupid crap, so I can't remember which game it was.
Matt, do you notice now Dylan's pushing the answers back to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Nick Powell, one of them.
Okay. Yeah. And who is your other pick?
I'll happily go for Mr. Disciplinary Problem, Reece Norrington Davies.
Okay, boys.
I don't think it's right, but
right, this one should be right up your street. This one, I hope it is. Anyway, right.
You say this about all of them.
I know, yeah. In the film E.T., what was the name of the little boy?
I ain't got a clue.
I've never watched it.
Oh, boys.
I've seen it, but I must have watched it about 10 years ago. I don't have a clue.
Is it Chris?
I was going to say it's the name of my brother, but you don't know the name of my brother. Right, okay, boys.
Chris.
I thought you were going to say it's not who the little boy is when you went Chris. I was going, it's not who looks like E.T.
Okay, so next question. Which league club was managed by both Sir Bobby Robson and Sir Alf Ramsey?
Bit before our time, this one did.
Well, Bobby Robson was at Newcastle, wasn't he?
He was. I'll tell you now, it's not Newcastle, but he was at Newcastle.
Right,
Quite
okay. Oh, that's the only thing I know. And I don't know where Alf Ramsey was.
Can we help him out?
Give him a help, yeah, lads.
I was the only one I was thinking. I was going to go Ipswich.
Ipswich.
That's where I was going to go as well.
I used to live there.
How do you not know this, still?
I knew that, Matt.
Because I was like 7.
Okay, boys.
I'm thinking maybe Porto.
Ipswich, yeah.
Okay, boys. True or false? You can sneeze in your sleep.
Chris, this quiz is getting harder and harder, lad.
Hey, it's true or false, Mart. It can't be that difficult. It's either true
I
or
think
false.
I think what we need to do moving forward is just go on the presumption that all the bands that we get on are going to be 15 or just over.
Yeah.
And let's aim the questions around there, because we have found with some other musicians who are a lot older than these two lads that they have also struggled on some of the questions we do.
I think, when I'm doing the quiz, I think, would I know the answer? That's my that's my bar.
So let's
just know that you asked the question.
No pressure, no
Someone
pressure,
will
lads.
read the quiz, won't they?
But PG Chilete is watching in on this, and he's been at the bottom for so long. So you have the chance to overtake him.
We've only got one.
Should we go false on that one or true? What are you saying, Matt?
False.
Okay, boys, we're false. Right. Okay, next question. As things stand, what position are Stoke in the league at the moment? You going with that final answer?
What did you say, Dale? Sorry.
I think we're still going top half. I'd say 9th or 10th, I'd say.
10th.
Okay, boys. What was Britney Spears' first single called?
What year was it from?
Jesus. Now you're asking. I was only a young lad, so it must have been late 90s. Must have been
89 or something, was it?
89.
I think I know
late 90s.
Oh, 99,
Yeah,
98, 99.
98, I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
Britney Spears' first song.
Toxic's Britney Spears, isn't it?
It is.
What is it, that song?
I don't know.
It's not that though, lads.
Oh, right, okay.
You want to help off the panel for this one?
Oops, I did it again.
Can you remember the video where they were walking in the school with all the tight skirts and dresses on and stuff?
You can, Richie.
I remember the video.
Richie can remember that.
He's got a poster on his wall. Is it? Oops, I did it again. That one. No, Richie. Yeah.
Richie, do you want to help him out?
Go on, Rich.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
That's the one.
Can you sing it, Richie?
As used for Richie on all of his Saturday nights.
I love it. Right, question number 11. Oh, I don't know if you're going to know this. Question number 11. Since 1977, where has Snooker's World Championship taken place? No, to be fair, it's still taking place there now.
The Crucible.
There you go. See?
Come on, boys. I love a bit of snooker, I do.
Now, this one's also an old one. But again, I reckon you're going to get it, okay? And weirdly, it's the same year. Which bands recorded the 1977 album Rumours? Great band, by the way.
There you go. Nailed, lad.
Who was criticising my quiz?
Boys.
It's for all ages.
That was for 5 points, that question was.
Question number 13. Traditionally in horse racing, what day of the week does the Cheltenham Gold Cup take place? And the reason I'm saying that is because it's next week. And
It's either a Saturday or a Sunday, isn't it? 'Cause it's a weekend. Surely, I think. Is it not? Is it Friday? Okay, it's a Friday. All right.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
So thanks for the tip.
Okay, we're going Friday. Now, how many months of the year have 28 days in them, lads?
You know this one, Dale.
Well, all of them have 28 days, but some of them just have more.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So all of them.
All of them have at least 28 days.
Yeah.
Okay, boys. Okay, I like that. Right. That is
wrong.
the end of the quiz. No, that is the end of the quiz, boys. Okay.
If you should have got that last question wrong, it's criminal.
I'm going to run through what you've scored. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Fuck off.
No way.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hang on, I've got to check this. 10,
It's
11,
double
12,
counting.
13, boys.
No
and
way.
Your bonus question to go, by the way.
Bonus question.
Yeah.
We do go with a bonus question.
13 points, boys, with the bonus still to come. This is good. Right.
Thanks, Rich.
I'll be very impressed if you get this, boys. Okay. So, how many varieties does the brand Heinz have? And this is for 2 bonus points.
varieties.
We can talk
Of what?
about this, though.
You can
You
talk.
can confer. You can talk and
Talk.
confer, yes.
Beans,
Yeah, but
spaghetti.
you do about 20 different soup flavours.
Think of a number. So the number is synonymous with the lead.
57, isn't it? Is it 57? It's on the bottles, isn't it?
I'll go check.
It is on the bottles, yes.
Is it 57? I'm sure it ends in a 7.
It's not on your Beer Moretti, by the way, Matt, before you even look at it.
That's a pity, that is. I'm
You going with 57, boys?
We might as well.
57.
Dylan
Boys, it's
seems
absolutely
quite
correct. It's absolutely correct.
Hey!
15 points.
15.
What? Oh,
Oh,
God.
the
Boys, tell you
Underclass.
what.
It's in the league.
Well done,
Wow.
boys.
It's in a easy, isn't it?
Hey, that was a
Quality.
hard quiz, wasn't it, boys? Eh?
It was
15.
solid, that was.
Yeah, silly questions they were.
You had to work for it. But there you go. The Underclass this evening have topped the loaded leaderboard.
The leaderboard.
Loaded
Superb.
Not as
quiz
sick as we
with
look.
15 points. Phil
I was
is
just
going to
wondering
be
how-
gutted. Because as soon as Phil seen you boys come on and realised how young you were, he went, they've not a hope of getting past 9. I'm definitely not popping.
And then
you
he
boys
was from Stoke and
Boys
he
applied
started
for
laughing.
15. That is a massive score. That will be hard to beat this season.
Sure will.
And
Yeah, but I think what you've got to ask now, Martin, the most important question is, would the take being top of the loaded quiz leaderboard or Stoke getting promoted back to the Premier League?
Oh, there you go. That's a question.
Tough question.
No comment.
Still can't get promoted.
No comment. That's it, Matt. I like that.
Looks like they're taking the leaderboard.
What's in the leaderboard?
Boys, just before we continue, I'm just going to tell you what ones you got wrong. Now, this isn't going to take very long, is it? So,
Yeah.
the question you got wrong, the name of the little boy in E.T. is, boys, can you tell me?
Elliot.
Yeah, Elliot, that's absolutely right. And the only other one that you didn't score maximum points for was the 2-point question, you know, about the yellow cards. So the
Did
3
Jacob
players who
Brown
got a
get
yellow
through?
card were Nick
Clean.
Powell, who you got right, and it was Jack Clark and James Chester.
Oh,
They were the other
Clark did get booked, didn't he? Yeah, that was a silly booking. It wasn't a booking.
How's John Obi Mikel not got a card?
two. That's true. That's very true. But all the others you got right. So well done,
That's
boys.
it.
Yeah, because that was the thing. Norrington
Well done,
Davies
lads.
gave away about 3 penalties in about half a minute and didn't even give them.
I'm just going to play this one, lads, one more time to remind people to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. That would be great. Thanks, everybody. And I think it's now time to move on, lads. Are you ready? Who's up today for? I think it's you, Richie. You're going to give us the little intro. Let's get back on the right screen. There we go, Richie.
Loaded 11.
Nice one, Richie. And of course, last week's winner was, as in for the team, first of all, Franco Baresi.
Yes.
Ah.
Now, do I need to tell the story, do I?
Yes. Before you do, let me just put this up on screen. I want to congratulate Paul. Paul is our winner who identified Franco Baresi and got 70% of the vote. Now, there is a story here. Martin's going to tell that story in a second. So Paul gets a prize, courtesy
Well done,
of
Paul.
QTech,
Well done, Paul.
Super Mac T-shirt and mug. So congratulations, Paul, and thank you, QTech,
Welcome,
for the prize as well. Thanks very much, John from QTech.
Cheers, John.
Shout out for the lads there. So yes, Martin, you have to tell us the story.
So this story, yes, okay. So for Mattenden, so obviously we have done this thing where we are obviously between the panel, we're choosing players to go into an all-time loaded 11, and I chose last week Franco Baresi, who I thought was one of the best defenders out there, and I was losing dramatically. So I came up with an inspired marketing piece, which was, I'm going to at every single club that's got the word Milan in it and ask them to vote. And I duly got myself into deep shit with, and I must give them a mention, at AC Milan, New York City, who sent me a very nice tweet saying, please stop fucking spamming my inbox. It's a great poll, and it's a bit of fun, but please stop. And then Dave, who has won the prize, and a few other people, Paul, sorry, who's won the prize, and myself then foolishly retweeted saying, "Oh, we're really sorry," and everything else, which obviously added to more spam ads in his inbox. And yeah, so we kind of got it ticking off, but I suppose I was quite happy that we blitzed the vote with 70%. So the moral of the story is don't cheat, do things fairly. Although we didn't cheat, I think it was just inspired about it. But look, all joking aside, well done, Paul, who wins the prize, and Berenice goes into the team.
Well done, Paul.
There he goes. Well done, Paul. Yeah.
With Maldini and Beckenbauer and Cafu and Buffon in goal. And today we're going to talk about our central defensive midfielder. So I think, Chris, you are up for... I'm back. I froze for a second. Chris, You are up first. Are you ready?
I am up first, and I am ready, Daz.
Here you go.
My player this week is the one, the only Claude Makelele. So Claude Makelele started his career at Nantes. He also played for Marseille, Celta Vigo, Real Madrid, and Chelsea, as well as PSG. Some fantastic clubs there. I'm sure you'll all agree. He made a total of 802 appearances and he scored 25 goals. He made 802 club appearances with 25 goals. He also made 71 international appearances for France. Some of his honours include 2 La Liga titles. He was a Champions League winner, a Super Cup winner, an Intercontinental Cup winner, a 2-time Premier League winner, an FA Cup winner, and 2 League Cup winner. And boys, this is the big one for me. Claude Makelele is regarded as one of the best ever in his position. So much so, they actually call it the Makelele role. For God's sake, lads, surely this has got to be my week. Claude Makelele, defensive mid. Surely.
Oh, we lost Dylan.
We lost Dylan.
Yeah.
Dylan's having none of your Claude Makelele.
Dylan's had enough, yeah. Claude Makelele, boys. Claude Makelele.
Not having it, Chris. I see your Makelele and Arezi. No, Matt, you might probably never heard of this guy. Lothar Matthäus.
I've heard of him.
I have heard of him. Good man. Good man. So, okay, former World Cup winner and as captain, European Footballer of the Year, is the only German to be named in the FIFA World Player of the Year. He's played in 5 World Cups. His record for the most World Cups to matches to play in as well. Most capped German player of all time. 150 goals. 150 games, 23 goals. Maradona classed him as the best rival I ever had. He box-to-box midfielder, and later in his career he played as a kind of a sweeper. In his club career, he won everything possible except one thing: the Champions League, and that was thanks to 2 teams. One, Porto in 1997, and Jamie, you might remember this one: Man United in 1999. So you don't know about that one. He's been a manager as well. His dream was to manage in the Bundesliga, but he never made it that far. He played at Borussia Mönchengladbach, Bayern Munich, Inter Milan, Metro Stars. He's so many honors. I'm not going to mention any of them. And he's manager at about 6 different clubs, 4 different clubs, and 2 countries in the shape of Hungary and Bulgaria. So that is Lothar Matthäus, a class act. That's my selection. I think Jamie will go to you next. Who have you got first?
Bit of a surprise one, being a Man United fan, but I went for Patrick Vieira. I know it was a very difficult one. I had to have a quiet word with myself whether I was going to put him forward, but I don't think. Obviously, you have racked off a lot of stats, so I'll try and touch on that in a minute. But the reason why I went on for Vieira is I don't necessarily think he was a defensive midfielder because it didn't really exist then when the 4-4-2 was around. But I think he was a defensive midfielder, and I totally agree with the Makelele position. I think Vieira was doing that when people didn't know what that was. He played obviously in a very successful Arsenal team. Being a Man United fan, we obviously done quite well back in them days, but I remember watching that Invincibles team, and he was obviously the captain of the team, and you just knew they wasn't going to get beat. you knew they were going to win. They went 1-0 behind. You knew they were going to score, and he was the linchpin sitting just in front of that back four, which was a fantastic team. Just him and Petit were fantastic, and then with Edu, Gilberto had a fantastic team. But he has every single attribute you need to be a world-class midfielder, and he didn't just prove it at Arsenal. He also done it. Had a good time at Man City when he come back when he was a bit older. He obviously went and won the league with Juventus. Obviously, technically, he didn't win the league with Juventus because they got done for the fraudulent case the season he was at Juve, but he did go on to Inter Milan and have a fantastic time there as well. Just an all-around class act. Obviously played in the successful France World Cup team. And when you're partnering Zinedine Zidane in the centre of the midfield, you're clearly a class act. So that's my pick, but absolutely fantastic player and definitely one of the best players I've ever seen in that central midfield role, just behind Paul Scholes, obviously.
Nice. And Jamie?
Surprised you picked the City player, Jamie. Surprised you picked the City player. And Dad, surely you must have learned that fancy slides don't work by now.
Oh, mate, I was going to say, did you see it? That was just a picture.
Hey,
Yeah,
I searched for slides, a decent one for everybody, but hey, that's what we get.
Right.
You know, Richie, do you know the sad thing is, though? Like, Daz produces a big slide like that for his player, and then he comes on the show, pre-show, and he goes, lads, I've been working so hard, putting stuff together, slides and everything else, and you're kind of, part of me's going, do you know what, fair play to him, right? We really need to take a bit of the workload off him. And then he puts up the slide for his play, and I'm kind of going, do you know what? Bollocks to him. I ain't helping no more. No way.
Lads,
I did nearly go for Busquets. I was very close to going for Busquets.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just think he's just changed the game of that position.
Yeah.
But
lads, come to me 24 hours before the show with your picture. I'll gladly share them. Richie, over to you.
Yeah, I actually went for one I didn't think was going to be a natural choice, but I remember him growing up in the early 90s as just being an absolutely fantastic player. And I went for Dunga, Carlos Caetano Blendon Vieri. Now,
bless you.
He had 91 caps for Brazil, but one of the weirdest things is he never played for a really big club in his career. The biggest club he ever played for was Fiorentina. And due to that, he didn't really win anything of significance at club level. However, as an international player, he was a winner of the World Cup in 1994. They also were runner-up at 98. He won the Copa America in 89 and 97. Was also runner-up in 95. They won the Confederations Cup in 97. He's even got an Olympic silver medal, which not many people will have or shout about. But we've got to big our players up, so we'll do that. He won everything with under 21s as well, with the World Cups, the South American version of the Copa America, and he also did that as a manager as well. But he only got an Olympic bronze for that one, so that was the little down thing he didn't do. So a couple of little facts which made me the reason why I picked Dunga was I remember watching him in the '94 World Cup, and that actually resonates with why I actually picked him. He was renowned for only tackling or slide tackling if needed. He very, very rarely put his foot in because he was such a good reader of the ball. He was actually there before the person actually got the chance to actually try and get there, or 50-50 or anything like that, which to me, in the position that one of the most commanding positions on the pitch, if you can get there before someone else, that's it makes the game look easy, and that's what Dunga did. Now, he's only one of two players to have played in the World Cup, the Olympic, the Confederations Cup, and Continental Championship finals, along with another fantastic Brazilian, midfielder in Xavi. And I always like to put like a little unknown funny fact in, but I've got to turn now and say,
"This is my fact."
Richie, you're being called.
Nice one, David.
Richie, you're being called out already.
It's all right. I'm going to tweet Fiorentina later on. So
I wouldn't recommend it. The Italians are very touchy. Italians are very, very touchy.
He had a very long list of clubs, so he might have a chance. But anyway, just these little numbers back. His nickname Dunga was given to him by his uncle. Now it's Portuguese for dopey. So that says it all.
Wow, that's some research, Richie. I have one question for you, Richie. Can
Go
he
on,
do it? Can he do it on a windy night in Stoke? That's my question for you.
Well, I've
Probably
seen some of
not.
the players to be
Oh, now
played,
he
so he
could.
probably could.
Cheers, Richie. Thanks for that. Thanks for the book.
Well, that's it.
Two percent.
When you go for a curveball, you've got to put the effort in.
I did feel as well, Richie. I did feel a little bit because I started laughing when you were midway through because it was when you said he hasn't really won much, and I just went then. I was just like, oh, Rich, no. But I think it's a good pick, mate. I do think it's a good pick.
Yeah,
my broadband cut out and came back again, and Richie was still talking about Dunga. But anyway,
this is show 10.
I actually left out one last comment on Lothar Matthäus, and I thought this is the most impressive part.
Hang on a minute.
He's 4 children, and he's been married 5 times, and all those times are nearly to models. So fair play. But Lothar Matthäus. Yeah. So let me see. Let's go. I think to our next. What's happening next week? And Richie, do you want to talk us through what's happening next week?
Yeah, next week it is St. Patrick's Day, so it's going to be an Irish themed show next week. We'll have
we'll all be drunk.
Yeah, we'll have our Guinness in hand. It definitely will.
It is.
No Murphy's, has to be Guinness. But yeah, our usual loaded headlines, loaded leaderboard, loaded tune. Our special guest next week will be the Institutes. Loaded quiz, loaded mystery guest who we don't even know who the guest is, so it's definitely a mystery. And loaded 11 as usual. You can follow us on Twitter at LoadedHQ1, on Instagram Loaded Football HQ. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, thumbs up, subscribe. It'll help us with all our viewers and getting our name out there. And also, if you've watched tonight with the Underclass, give them a like as well. You know, the music's up and coming, fantastic tunes. Give them a like. Their music's on Spotify, places like that. And, you know, we'll all help each other out and we'll get to where we want to be.
Nice one, Richie. And Richie, I just want to add something else that we have coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow, 8 p.m., we have a Loaded Football NUFC special. So on this show, we're going to talk about 3 topics. We're going to talk about how many points Newcastle are going to get between now and the end of the season. We had a little discussion ourselves, and we were down at the end of one of our planning meetings, and we said, hey, why not put this as part of the show? So I have put together a little graphic on this, and we can discuss it tomorrow. And we're going to also talk about the takeover and what would happen if we were relegated. What's our thoughts on the only takeover in town? And also, we're going to talk about kind of have a preview show with and talk a bit of Aston Villa, and we're going to be joined by Alex Ohm as well. So we've got 2 members of the band joining us, and one of the band members, Hannah, is a former Aston Villa ladies footballer. So that shall be very interesting. We're looking forward to that tomorrow.
That's good. Alex Ohm. I've been saying for the last 2 days, I've seen that Alex OHM. I thought it was kind of like OMD, like orchestral maneuvers in the dark. So I do apologize if that was wrong. Yeah,
we'll get
it could be. You're just making that shit up, Nelson. We will find out tomorrow when we get embarrassed. Yeah, exactly. Look forward to that. That'll be a good one tomorrow night.
Yeah, it should be good. Should be good, lads. I just want to say goodbye and say thanks to everyone for joining us. Thanks for the Underclass for joining us, and we'll play out with your tune at the end. Just we'll get everyone to say goodbye. Thanks to Jamie as well for joining us as our mystery guest, and thanks for everyone for watching and listening.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, same for me. Obviously, I've probably had a bit more communication with the lads than most. So obviously, Matt and Dylan, listen, lads, fair play for coming on. You sit duly top of the leaderboard with 15 points, so you can have a few more beers, sit back and relax. Obviously, tune in next week and watch and see do the Institutes beat your score. I've kind of seen them already, so I think it's highly unlikely. But let's see. Listen, from my perspective, thanks very much for coming on. We wish you, certainly I know the lads do, but I do wish you all the greatest of successes in the future. When things do open up, and I've said this to most of the bands, because obviously I'm getting a bit older, so when you guys do become famous and you do get signed up, make sure you get across to Ireland if you need some roadies or even just to blag fucking free tickets. Listen, lads, look after us.
We will.
We will keep promoting you. We'll get the music out there. and with the show copies, but we'll keep tweeting you that stuff and adding you into conversation. So keep in touch with us. Best of luck for the future. To Jamie, thanks very much for coming on, pal. Much appreciated.
Pleasure, mate. Thank you very much.
Obviously to Daz, who does put a lot of hard work in getting the show up and running, and Rich and Chris as well, who make this all worthwhile. So yeah, thanks very much from me, and I look forward to seeing people tomorrow night and then on Loaded Football next week. So thanks very much from me.
Once again, thanks, Matt. Thanks, Dylan. All the best for the future. Hope your first festival goes well in September, and your other gigs in the summer as well. Jamie, thanks for coming on, mate. Always a pleasure. Lads, for the great show. Thank you very much, and all the viewers at home that have been watching and putting their feedback in the night. Thank you very much, lads.
Yeah, just wanted to say thanks, obviously, to Matt and Dylan for coming on. Boys, really nice to meet you. I wish Stoke all the very best this season. I hope you climb the table, currently 10th, but let's see if you can nick in them playoffs. That'd be fantastic. Jamie, always a pleasure to see you, mate. And yeah, Man United flying high. I'm sure you made up with that derby victory last week. So yeah, I look forward to catching up with you anyway, mate. But yeah, also thank you very much to all the viewers for watching. Really enjoyed the show as per usual, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow night's show.
That's it.
I think that's we'll play out with your other tune, one of your other tunes for you. So thanks everyone for watching, and remember to catch us tomorrow 8 p.m. on our channel. Talk to you later.
I've gotta run or hide, I can't stay with you tonight. Gotta get my sunrise before it shines on my bride. Because the king's knights are coming after me tonight. So let's escape the town and lose ourselves when we got the time. I said, don't tell the world because I shouted out loud. She said, don't tell the world because I shouted out loud. After all the things I did for you, and all the days I wasted for you, I wasted for you, I did it all for you. This is the last time I'm gonna run for you. 'Cause you're part of so many lies that no one can undo. Your words are tongue-tied and I don't know your next move. But I have no choice, I'm just gonna have to trust you now. I said, don't tell the world because I shouted out loud. She said, don't tell the world because I shouted out